Animation Composer 4 drops with major workflow upgrades, use ChatGPT directly inside After Effects, and one-click liquid glass effects. It's Motion Mondays, and it's time to set up some fireworks the safe and responsible way. So Cartwheel just dropped a massive update to their AI motion capture offerings, and if you're not familiar, Cartwheel is basically like a beefed up Meximo that actually gets updates and it has AI powers baked in. So you can capture, edit, and combine motions together for longer animations, which is something Mixamo actually got rid of. Now, the big news here is that they've added hundreds of walk cycles to their motion library. So we're talking a lot of perfect loops with a lot of variety. And one of the things that's interesting about Cartwheel is that you can actually combine motions together and export out way cleaner and editable animation curves, way more than you'd be able to get out of other mocap apps. Plus, you can upload your own characters or create new ones using AI. Now here's a bonus tip that might be helpful. Even if you're not into 3D, these mocap animations actually could make for great reference material for animators. So go and try Cartwheel for free, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're tired of the old same Mixamo walks that everyone's been using for like the past decade. Next up, Polygon, yeah, the website that the Blender Donut guy has, just dropped a smart 3D asset browser called Polydex that's currently in beta, and of course, it's free. This thing lets you view and manage your 3D models, textures, and HDRs, and then export them with one click to various 3D applications. And right now, it only supports Blender 4.2 and up since it's still in beta, but they're planning to add 3D Studio Max, Cinema 4D, and SketchUp support soon. Now what's cool about this is that it automatically creates shader graphs for PBR textures when you import them, which saves you a ton of time. And it works with assets from any source, not just Polygon's asset library, and you can load up stuff from other sites like Ambient CG or any other asset site and view them all in one organized browser. You do need a Polydex account to use the free beta, and they haven't announced final pricing yet, but considering how much time this could save you in your workflow, especially if you're constantly downloading and organizing assets from different sources, it's definitely worth trying out while it's free. Next up, news from Chaos Group, V-Ray 7 for Blender is officially available. Now, this is interesting because V-Ray hasn't been properly supported in Blender for years. The old plugin only worked with Blender 2.79, which kind of tells you how outdated it was. The new version integrates directly into the Blender UI with interactive viewport rendering, making Blender feel more on par with other professional 3D apps. Now, it doesn't support geometry nodes just yet, and there's no distributed rendering, and it's Windows only right now, and it requires a subscription. V-Ray Solo runs about $85 a month, which seems kind of steep when you consider that Blender's built-in renderers like Cycles and Eevee are actually pretty great. And even Octane has a free version for Blender. Now, I'm not so sure how many Blender users out there are going to want to pay for a render when the free options are just so good. They do offer a 30-day free trial if you're wanting to test it out, but I have a feeling that most Blender users will kind of be happy and stick with what they got. All right, now it's time for some School of Motion news. We just released our latest course, Premiere for Motion Designers, taught by Kyle Hamrick. Now, this course teaches motion designers everything they need to know about editing, and not just how Premiere works, but show you real-world workflows that make you work way faster. And if you're still editing in After Effects like I used to do for my tutorials, you're doing it totally wrong. Don't do what I did. This course is just jam-packed with a bunch of stuff that I wish I knew back when I was just kind of jumping in and out of Premiere just to get what I needed done. It's really comprehensive and teaches you how to think like an editor, not just how to use the tools. You can check it out on our All Access platform. You'll find a link to that in the description. In other news, we've added 2 completely free courses. First up is Level Up, taught by Ryan Summers, which is all about taking your next career step, especially if you feel stuck. It covers which skills to learn, how to create personal projects, and how to position yourself in the market. And the second one is Path to MoGraph, a deep dive in what motion design is and how it's used across the industry. And in new course news, Joey just wrapped recording our second Rive course. We have an Unreal Engine course from Jonathan Winbush upcoming. I'm working on a Substance Painter course, and we just put out a call for Figma instructors. Houdini's on the horizon too, and our accountability groups are starting today. And I'm hosting an all-access exclusive live stream workshop on July 10th at noon Eastern. It's a splash course in Cinema 4D liquids, and yes, there's a lot more puns where that came from. You can find out all the information about everything that's going on at School of Motion over at our website. Again, the link is in the description. Mocha Pro 2025.5 just dropped with some interesting new features, including some machine learning capabilities with automated face detection. It's funny they use machine learning instead of AI. Well, they do it because, well, we all know why they do it. The face detection is actually really great. It generates and tracks elliptical face layers for each face in your shot, which streamlines facial VFX workflows. And they've made improvements to the MatSist ML tools, letting you edit problematic frames and create custom presets for export data with batch processing. There's also expanded camera solving for locked off shots, where you can just snap imported models to moving objects. Plus, they added a back and forth rendering button for single click forward and backward tracking. Now, I think the face detection feature alone could save a lot of people a lot of time on projects with multiple people in frame, especially if you're doing beauty work or compositing. Pilgway just released 3D Coat 2025 and 3D Coat Textura 2025, which are their sculpting, retopology, and 3D painting tools. Now, 3D Coat is mainly known as the go-to software for retopology workflows, but it does way more than that. The big updates include voxel sculpting that now supports soft booleans, which means you'll get automatic beveling with boolean operations. They added a new Sculpt workspace with a node room for creating surface and volumetric details using node-based workflows. There's also improved support for drawing tablets from Wacom, Hawaiian, XP Pen, and Microsoft Surface Pro. So if you're doing a lot of sculpting work or need solid retopology tools, this update adds some really nice workflow improvements. Next up, Vlad from the Adobe Substance team shared a really clever quick tip on LinkedIn that really caught my attention. He figured out how to capture Substance Painter's dynamic brushes using the UV view and then turning them into animated textures for Cinema 4D and Redshift. So basically, what you have to do is screen capture your UV view while painting and use OBS or another screen capture software to record it, and then convert that into an image sequence. And once you have the PNG sequence, you just load it in the Redshift texture node, make sure you make it detect frames, and boom, you got this really cool liquid reveal animation. It's such a simple but effective technique for creating those organic paint flowing effects without any complex simulations or node setups that make your head want to just explode. It's always great stuff coming from the Adobe Substance Evangelist team, so make sure you give them a follow. Next, let's check out some awesome work from around the web. First is this beautiful claymation piece from BBC Creative alongside Blink Ink for the UEFA Women's Euro 2025. Everything was hand sculpted with clay, and the attention to detail is incredible. It's really cool to see claymation being used for such a massive sports promotion. That tactile handmade quality really makes it stand out. Next, we have this personal project from Box4 out of Detroit that captures the feeling of their creative, collaborative space. It's inspired by the golden era of 90s kids television, complete with glitchy VHS vibes, framed in a 90s TV environment. And I'm always a sucker for retro 90s aesthetic, and this nails it perfectly. Next, Studio 7 Nights created this fun League of Legends fan film using Houdini and Blender. The first simulation was done in Houdini and then rendered in Blender, which is a great example of how you can combine these tools. And there's way more than just fur simulation. There's sand sims, water splashes, liquid effects, just tons of Houdini simulation work mixed in with some occasional 2D toony elements. It's really solid character animation throughout as well. And finally, Jack Sachs did this new opening sequence for the Amazing World of Gumball Season 7 that'll be on Cartoon Network. I really love the mix of 2D animation with the surreal data moshi stuff going on. It perfectly fits the Cartoon Network style while feeling fresh and modern. Animation Composer just updated to version 4, and if you're not familiar, this free After Effects plugin is used by nearly 1 million artists. This latest update includes faster previews for Windows users, a new keyframe actions tool, and a redesigned keyframe wingman for better keyframe easing. Now, the keyframe actions tool is actually really handy. You can copy and paste easing curves, mirror keyframes, align them, basically all the stuff that makes animating way faster. The wingman lets you create a curve and copy it to whatever you're animating, and there are tons and tons of free presets for stuff like text animations, social media stuff, but if you have the subscription, you unlock all those presets. And speaking of working faster in After Effects, there's a new tool called AE GPT that's really interesting. It's a context-aware assistant built right into After Effects that can read your project structure, comps, layers, effects, expressions. I don't know if it's actually watching you as well, but what it actually helps you do is help you troubleshoot in After Effects using natural language. Now, one example they show is asking how to turn green screen footage into VHS retro style. And what it'll do is it'll look at your current effect stack and suggest improvements. Although honestly, I'd probably just tell them to use Red Giant Universe's VHS filter. Shout out to Paul Babb and our very own Aaron Rabinowitz, who actually appears in that demo video there. And you're actually not limited to ChatGPT either. You can use Claude, Gemini, or even a local AI model. It's kind of like having a After Effects version of Clippy who can help with expressions and effects. And as always, the more insight you bring to the prompts, the better it does. You can grab it over on AE Scripts and AE Plugins. You can find the links to that in the description. Now on to our School of Motion Student of the Week. This week we have the talented Mau Bonilla, who shared his reel in our recent portfolio review session. He's based out of Monterrey, Mexico, and he's a 3D motion designer with some really killer work. His lighting and composition skills are top-notch, and he even got chosen to have his animation displayed at Dash Bash for their 2025 Ident Challenge. So that Dash Bash piece was actually a great example of what you can do with personal projects. After all, it was just a prompt from Dash Bash, and it's a great excuse to create for yourself. So if you're looking to beef up your demo reel, just find prompts like this and go out and create some personal work. So awesome job, Mau. Production Crate is getting in on the liquid glass trend that kicked off with Apple's new iOS redesign. Their new Crates Glass plugin is a one-click solution for After Effects with presets like glass aberration, frosted glass, bubble, diamond, and rim light effects. You simply apply it to an adjustment layer and it handles all the refraction, the reflection, the displacement that normally takes about, 20-something effects to achieve. Now, I'm sure with Apple's new liquid glass aesthetic becoming more and more popular every single day, I'm sure a lot of clients are going to start asking for this look, and having a quick solution ready could save you hours of setup time. And they offer a free trial if you want to go and test it out. And finally, early bird tickets are now available for Pictoplasma New York City. Now, if you're not familiar, Pictoplasma is a character design conference that started in Berlin, and it's coming to New York City on September 25th and 26th. Now, this conference showcases amazing character-based artists and animators. This is a conference I really need to get to. I love character design and animation, and I need to do more of it, but it's basically a who's who of incredible character artists, and early bird tickets are limited to just the first 100 attendees, so if you're into character work and character animation, definitely grab one of these tickets while they're cheap. And that is it for this episode of Motion Mondays. Don't forget to check out Premiere for Motion Designers on our All Access platform, available for individuals or teams of 3 or more. And also be sure to check out our 2 free courses, The Path to MoGraph and Level Up. The links are in the description. That's it for now. See you next week.